Hmm. So, again, just a minute on the context. So, the last we stopped at was the 20th verse. 20th verse in the 10th chapter, right? And how did it end? He said, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasha Yastitah Aham Adishcha Madhyancha Bhutanam Antam Anta Evacha. So now he is prepared to deliver that secret or that vision that Arjuna is asking of him. So Arjuna has now come to a point where we saw the last week. He is enjoying what Krishna is talking. He's enjoying the whole discourse that is happening. And now he is also experiencing some kind of joy and ananda. There is some ananda that he's experiencing. Yes, Mama.
இந்த ஸ்லோகங்களே அகம் ஆத்மா குடாகேஷ நேத்தோ முந்தானத்து இங்க ஒருத்தர் வந்து பேசினார். நீங்க இந்த ரமணர் எஸ்வி ரமணன் தெரியலையா உங்களுக்கு? அந்த இந்தியன் மெட்ரோலஜிஸ்ட், இந்த வெதர் ரிப்போர்ட் பண்ணுவார் இல்லையா, வெதர்மேன். நம்ம இதுல அவர் வந்து அவர் இங்க வந்து பேசியிருந்தாரு. அவர் வந்து ரமணர் கடந்த பாதை, அதாவது அவர் எப்படி அவரோட ஊர்ல இருந்து கிளம்பி திருவண்ணாமலை போய் சேர்ந்தாருங்கிறது, இவ வந்து 100th இயர்னால அதை வந்து they followed those track. அவர் இவர் இந்த டென்னிஸ் ஆர்த்தர், அப்புறம் ஆர்த்தர் ரோஸ் போனவெல்லாம் சேர்ந்து போனப்போ அவரும் போயினப்போ அவர் சொன்னார், ரமணர்கிட்ட வந்து கேட்டாலாம், உங்களுக்கு இது பகவத்கீதால ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச ஸ்லோகம் இதுன்ட்டு. அப்போ அவர் இதுதான் சொன்னார், அகமாத்மா குடாகேஷா.
ஓ, லவ்லி லவ்லி.
இந்த ஸ்லோகம் இது நீங்க படிச்ச உடனே அதான் ஞாபகம் வந்தது, அதான் ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டேன் நான்.
வெரி நைஸ், வெரி நைஸ். அகமாத்மா குடாகேஷ சர்வபூதாசயஸ்திதः அகமாதிஷ்ச மத்யஞ்ச பூதானாம் அந்த ஏவச்ச. This is exactly the experience of Ramana. Why Ramana liked this shloka maybe is because it reflects his state of consciousness, the state of consciousness that aham atma gudakesha, oh gudakesha, oh Arjuna, I am atma, aham atma, I am atma brahma. This atma is Brahman, one of the mahavakyas. But his experience is, I am this atma. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this personality, I am not this identity, I am not this ego, I am not this name form that I am. I am not this person that everybody sees me as. I am not this person I think I am. None of that. I am this Atma. I am Aham Atma Gudakesha. And then I do not have a beginning, Anadi. I don't have a Madhya. I'm in the middle also. I'm at the starting, I'm at the middle, I'm at the end. Which means I don't see myself being born. I don't experience this being born. I don't experience this being annihilated also. This is what we saw the last time. So very nice, Mama. So I think this is Ramana's experience all the time. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's experience is this all the time. So he is able to, he experiences this particular verse. Remember, Ramana had the experience first and then the reconciliation with the scripture later. He is one such Mahanatma who had the experience and then he validated that experience with the scriptures. So whatever was in the scriptures, he said, oh, this is exactly what I'm experiencing. Oh, this is, so what is being said here is what I'm experiencing, and what I'm experiencing is right. So he's probably experiencing that. And here what Krishna is telling Arjuna is, this is Krishna telling Arjuna, telling that I am this Atma. Don't think of yourself as all of these things. I am the Paramatma, but I am also this Atma which is there within you. That Atma also is I. And you are nothing but the essence of that. Right? So Krishna is slowly bringing Arjuna into a state where he is able to receive not just this knowledge, but also the experience of it. Anubhava. Anubhava is always needs to go along with the Vidya. Vidya is the knowledge. Vidya plus Anubhava is Jnanam. Jnanam, although we use it loosely as knowledge, Jnanam is not the Vidya that you receive, that you learn, or the knowledge that you gain is Vidya. Be it Paravidya, Aparavidya, it's still Vidya. But that plus Anubhava becomes Jnanam. Jnanam is the complete understanding and realization of the truth. The realization that is a combination of Vidya and Anubhavam. So he's slowly giving him the Anubhava now. Now, how is he giving him? Now he is realizing, Krishna is realizing Arjuna has become ready, is become a recipient. He's completely willing to now receive this knowledge and experience. Experience is the Vishwarupa Darshanam that he gives him. That is the experience that he gives him. But now he's still giving him the knowledge. And he's telling, who am I? He's telling, who am I as Bhagavan? Who am I? And he is pointing out that I am the essence of all things. Right? He is saying that I am the essence of all things, means he is saying Sarva Bhuta Ashaya Sthitaha, which means I am resting in all the living beings and I am the essence of all living beings. Right? So he is starting from Aditya. So the first verse goes as 21st verse. Adityanam aham Vishnuho Jyotisham Raviramshuman. Adityanam aham Vishnuho Jyotisham Ravihi Amshuman. Marichihi Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam Aham Shashi. So there are 4 aspects brought in here. Aditya, if you remember, we have spoken about 12 Adityas. There are 2 wives of Kashyapa Rishi, Aditi and Diti. So Diti is known to have given birth to Daityas and Marut. Aditi has given birth to 12 Adityas, Dwadasha Adityas. And one of the Aditya is the Vamana Avatara. So Vamana Avatara also is known to have come from Kashyapa and Aditi. And Vamana Avatara is none other than this Krishna's earlier Avatara or Vishnu's Avatara. So he is Vishnu's Avatara. So amongst Aditya, he is saying Adityanam Aham Vishnuhu. So I am that Vishnu, I am that central, or I am that essence. I am amongst the 12 Adityas. Vamana Avatara has a greater significance because it is Vishnu himself who was born as Vamana.
Right? He is born, he is an avatar, he has taken the straight away avatar madane vanda. He is born actually. Adha mariya.
Puranic, correct. Puranic stories say that Vamana Avatara was born to Aditi and Kashyapa. Avatars are all born. I mean, not all avatars are appearances. Some appearances, like Narasimha Avatara, is an appearance. Some are appearances. Some are born. They're born to some human beings, right? So Aditi and Kashyapa, they have 12 children, and one of them is Surya, and hence that name Aditya is also given to Surya Bhagavan. And Vamana Avatara is also an Aditya. So he is called Adityanam Aham Vishnuho. So he's saying, I am Vishnu in the Adityas. And then he says, Jyotisham Ravihi Amshuman. Jyotisham means amongst all luminous bodies, amongst all celestial bodies that are bright, I am Ravihi. Ravihi is what? Surya. So one is Vishnu, the other is, so both are Adityas. If you look at the first Vishnu is Adityana Maham Vishnu, who is the Vamana Avatara. That is an Aditya because he is born to Aditi. The second is Ravihi. Ravi is who? Surya Bhagavan. He is also an Aditya. He is also born to Aditi. So I am also Vishnu amongst the Adityas. I am also Ravihi, the Surya, amongst the other Adityas. Right? And he says Jyotisham. Jyotisham Jyotisham Ravihi Anshuman. So which means I am the radiant Surya amongst all luminous celestial bodies. Jyotisham, all the Jyotisham api Jyotihi, Tad Jyotihi. I am that light of all lights. So he's saying amongst all the bright, whatever you experience as bright, what do we experience as bright light? The brightest that you can imagine is the Surya's light. Sun's light is what we experience. In our experience, sun's light is the brightest, right? And we're talking about natural light forms, not you're going to hit 1,000 volt or the flashlights onto your eyes. Obviously, if it's at this distance, it's definitely much brighter than Surya. But in our natural experience, Surya is the brightest that is available to us in terms of that which is the brightest. In fact, when Surya is there, all other luminous forms also become dim, right, in its presence. So he says, Jyotisham Ravihi Anshuman. I am the luminous or the radiant Ravihi, Surya, amongst all luminous bodies. Marichihi Marutam Asmi. Marutam, amongst all different kinds of Marut. Asmi, I am Marichihi. I am Marichihi amongst all Maruts. Now, what are Maruts? Maruts are different kinds of airs or different. See, like how we have vital airs within us: Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. These are the 5 airs we know of. There are 5 more airs. One of the name of the air is Dhananjaya. There are 10 Dasha. We know of Pancha Prana. There are Dasha Prana. And according to Lahari Mahasaya, those who know Lahari Mahasaya, have you heard of his name? Lahari Mahasaya. He is one of the greatest saints of modern times. It is fascinating that today is his Mahasamadhi day. It's his Mahasamadhi day, 26th September. 26th September 1895, Mahasamadhi. Lahari Mahasaya is the disciple of Mahavatar Babaji. And the
Samadhi இருக்கும் காஷில.
In superb, Mama. In Kashi, we all went and saw the Samadhi. Lahari Mahasaya's Samadhi we visited in Kashi. Those who have been to Kashi would know that there is a ghat called Lahari Mahasaya Ghat or Chaushatti Ghat. I think this is near the Chaushatti Ghat. There is Lahari Mahasaya Samadhi is there. You have to, of course, of the ghat you get down and then you have to climb up. You have to climb upstairs. It's a very nice setup there. There are a few other saints, statues are there, and Lahari Mahasaya statue is there. This is maintained by the great grandson of Lahari Mahasaya. Shamacharan Lahari was the name of Lahari Mahasaya. His name was Shamacharan Lahari. Now the great grandson, his name is Subendhu Lahari. Subendhu Lahari, he maintains that place. And it's very, very peaceful. In fact, when we went and saw, there is a beautiful Mahavatar Babaji statue also that they have built there.
ஆமா அதான் சொல்லணும்னு நினைச்சேன். அங்க அந்த அந்த மண்டபமே நல்லா இருக்கும். அப்படியே
Very beautiful.
sit down அங்க உட்கார்ந்து can
meditate. So that there is a meditation hall where they have a very beautiful Mahavatar Babaji statue where you can sit and meditate. So Lahari Mahasaya's why his context came is he is drawn a diagram which shows the various nadis in our body. Because he was a Kriya Yoga proponent. He taught Kriya Yoga, which is what he learned from Babaji. And his disciple is Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri. Sri Yukteswar Giri's disciple is Sri Paramahamsa Yogananda. Sri Paramahamsa Yogananda is also one of my gurus. So today that way, that Guru Parampara is also, we are invoking their blessings. So Sri Lahiri Mahasaya was a householder like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He didn't take sannyasa. And very, very beautiful story. If you look up Lahiri Mahasaya on the internet, you will see only one photo of his. Because at that time, this is 1800s, right? Late 1800s. That is when film or photography, some of these inventions had come into India. And it was, so what happened is, it was, they were finding it difficult to capture him on film. So how much ever they would try to, they'll get a photographer. And you know how it was, the cameras of those times were not these small short cameras, right? You'll have to keep a stand, you'll have to put a black cloth, and you have to put a light, and then it'll probably burst off into some kind of, there'll be an explosion to throw light, and then you capture it on a film. The film will be a pretty large piece of film, and so on and so forth. It's a complex apparatus to take a photograph. So every time some disciple or somebody would want to take a photograph of Lahiri Mahasaya, it will not appear at all. And at that time, people would have tried, and then they would have realized that everything around Lahiri Mahasaya will appear on the film, but except him, everything, the tree that he's sitting, the rock that he's sitting on, the people around, everything will appear on the film, but he will not appear. So they then went to him, said, Gurudev, what is this? I mean, we want something of you for posterity. We want to remember you by, we want a photograph that we can keep with ourselves. Then he gives the disciples a day and time. He says that, come on this day and time, then I will allow you to capture me. Because he tells them, see, I am not this body. He says, Aham Atma Gudakesha, right? In the same sense, he says, I am not this body. How can you capture it on film? What I am cannot be captured on film. And literally, this experience, people have experienced this and documented it, journaled it. So then he says on a day, okay, come and take my photograph. And he then sits down under his tree, whatever. And then he allows them to take a photo. Okay. And then that is the only photo that is available of his. Let me bring this up also, so that let's see him today, being his Samadhi day. So this is, he gives a pose. He poses for this photograph, and that's the only photograph of his you will see on the internet, where he's sitting like this, he smiles and he's looking at the camera, and they take a photograph. So Lahiri Mahasaya. Now, why did I mention about Lahiri Mahasaya in this context is, Marichihi Marutam Asmi. In this, there is a diagram that he draws, he's created. It's a very complex diagram Lahiri Mahasaya has created, where he shows all the different nadis that are going through our whole central nervous system. Okay. And he points out 49 vital airs in our body. 49 vital airs. And these are called maruts. This Puranic story of Marut is that Diti, the other wife of Kashyapa Rishi, wants to give birth to a son who can be a face off to Indra. She wants to give birth to a son who is much stronger than Indra. So she is holding her womb. She wants to hold her womb for a very long time. So she decides, let me hold it for 100 years. So that the womb, the son or the child born in that womb will be very strong and will be stronger than Indra. But Indra, knowing this, he attacks the womb with his Vajrayudha. And the womb or the fetus breaks into 49 pieces. And they are known as 49 Maruts. This is the Puranic story. But according to the Kriya Yoga or the Yoga Tantra or the Yoga Shastra, 49 Marut means air. That is why Hanuman is also called Maruti, because he's the son of Vayu. He's a Vayuputra Maruti. So these vital airs, amongst them, so amongst the 49 vital airs that govern our body, there are so many, this Vayu is of different functions. The 5 primary functions we know: Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. Prana is respiration. Vyana is Samana is assimilation. Vyana is circulation. Udana is to expel. And Prana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, Prana, Apana. Apana is the outgoing Vayu. Right? So these are 5 Vayus that are there governing different physiological functions. But these are not the only 5 physiological functions. There are more. So the next is they've broken it down into 10. 5 more. So they've broken the Pancha Prana into Dasha Prana. But then Lahari Mahasaya said that there are 49 pranas. There are 49 Vayu. And this corroborates with the Puranic story of 49 Maruts. So these are the Maruts that are within us. And what Bhagavan Krishna says is, amongst these 49 Maruts, Marichihi, what does he say? Marutam Asmi. Amongst all of this, I am this Marichi. Marichi is known to be the primary vital air, which passes through the Sushumna Nadi. The most important vital air that passes through the Sushumna Nadi is called Marichi. So he's saying, I am that Marichi. I am the essence of all the Vayu, of all the Maruts that is there within you. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Of all the nakshatras, of all the stars, I am the moon. Which means, during the day, amongst all the bright entities, I am the sun. At night, amongst all the bright stars, I am the moon. And this is our experience also. During the day, everything else being bright, the sun is the brightest. At night, what is the brightest? You have so many stars and so many other celestial bodies. The moon is the brightest for us. So he is saying, during the day, I am the sun. During the night, I am the moon. I am in your body as the vital airs. And I am also the sustainer, Vishnu. Adityanam aham Vishnu. So I am the one who is sustaining you. Adityanam aham Vishnu. As Vishnu, I sustain you. As Surya, as I sustain you during the day. As Chandrama, I sustain you during the night. And as Marichi, I sustain you as the Vayus in your body. Adityanam aham Vishnu. Jyotisham Ravir Amshuman. Marichihi Marutam Asmi. Nakshatranam aham shashi. So essentially, during the whole day, the whole cycle, I am the one who is sustaining you from inside you. Aham Atma Gudakesha. Okay, going back to that line. That is like an anchor line. Since Mama told that it is Ramana Maharishi's favorite line, we should also hold on to it then. Aham Atma Gudakesha. So I am that Atma or Gudakesha. And as the Atma, I am also powering all of this from within you. I am the sustainer as Vishnu. I am the light of the day within you. During the day, you are activated. In your waking state, I am Aditya, or I am the Surya. At night, I am the moon, Chandrama, when you're sleeping. And I am the Vayu that is sustaining you within you, from within you. Because all these Vayus go out, then you're proclaimed dead. Right? We are proclaimed dead when we are not proclaimed dead when we are not necessarily stopped breathing, because there are vayus that needs to be released in our body, and these vayus slowly release. They don't release immediately after we stop breathing. We stop breathing and slowly these vayus release. Little by little these vayus will release, and after all the vayus are released, then we can proclaim this individual is no longer in this body, and then you burn so that either this individual doesn't try to come back or nothing else comes back into it. Right? No other form of life can enter into it, so you burn the body. What remains as the jada at the inert, you burn it. So this is the 21st verse. And then he goes on to say, Vedanam samavedosmi devanam asmi vasavaha indriyanam manaschasmi bhutanam asmi chetana. Vedanam samavedaha asmi. So amongst all the Vedas, if you consider 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajus, Sama, Atharvana, I am the Sama Veda, he says. Then if you consider all the Devatas, I am Indra, Devanam, Asmi Vasavaha, I am Indra. Indriyanam, Manaschasmi, of all the Indriyas that you have, the Karmendriya, the Jnanendriya, I am Manas, I am above them. I am above all the Indriyas. Bhutanam asmi chetana, of all living beings, I am the essence or the consciousness, the chetana, the Chaitanya of all the living beings. I am that. In whatever form you find living beings, be it a plant, be it the smallest worm, be it an insect, be it a unicellular organism, or be it a complex multicellular organism like us, I am that chetana. So, why does he compare to Samaveda? You can say that why is Rigveda or Atharvana Veda, or Rigveda is supposed to be the greatest because it's the oldest. And if you see, all the other Vedas have derived from Rigveda. Yajus, Sama and Atharvana have derived from the Rigveda. They have taken sections, most of the sections have been it's been borrowed from Rigveda. So Yajur Veda is essentially prose form. Sama Veda is Gana. It is song. It is in the form of song. And he's saying, I'm Sama Veda because why is Sama Veda considered to be very sacred? Is because it represents sound. The same Rigveda chants that are there in the Rigveda, in the Sama Veda, they are sung as Saman. Rigveda, they are called Rik. Rik means every phrase is called a Rik. So all the Rik put together, it becomes Rik Veda, hence Rigveda. Samaveda, the same Rigveda verses are sung in a meter or in different meters, but it is sung and they are known as Saman. Those verses have now become Saman because they are set to a rhythm, to a tune. And so, if you'll compare and look at the difference, Rigveda is dry. It is like theory. Samaveda is like experience. It is the Anubhava. So Krishna is saying, I am the Anubhava, I am the experience. You have to, if you have to understand me, you have to experience me. You cannot intellectually only understand me, you have to experience me. It's very important, right? Experiencing Bhagavan is more important than trying to understand him. See, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, if somebody says that I have realized, if you say that, it is like a salt doll going into the ocean to measure the ocean. When a salt doll goes to the ocean to measure the ocean, what will happen? Where is the doll? It is all mixed up with the salt of the ocean. The doll doesn't exist anymore. So who is there to measure what? The measurer is gone, dissolved. So to understand Bhagavan, we have to experience Bhagavan. We have to experience, which is what is also meant by saying Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, means you have to understand, you have to become that. You have to experience that. You have to experience the experience of what it means to be not by Bhagavan. I don't mean that omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, that feeling, that not feeling that. It's about dissolving the identity of the self. And whenever that self identity is dissolved, and when that, but you're still there. जब मैं हूं हरि नहीं, जब हरि है मैं नाही. Kabir says this. When I am there, Krishna is not there. When Krishna is there, I am not there. When Hari is there, I am not there. My nahi. So when that, what happened? How is somebody able to say this? He is saying that when I am there, Hari is not there, which means the I he is talking about is the identity, ego identity, that I am separate, I am different, I am this. Correct. அது எப்படி சொல்லுவாத? கண்டவர்
கண்டவர் விண்டதில்லை, விண்டவர் கண்டதில்லை.
விண்டவர் கண்டதில்லை. விண்டவர் இஸ் என்ன அர்த்தம் அம்மா?
இல்ல விண்டவர் இல்ல கண்டவர் விண்டிலர், விண்டவர் கண்டிலர்.
அப்படியா? நான் கொஞ்சம் தப்பா சொல்லிட்டேன்.
என்னதுமா எக்ஸ்பிளைன்? எக்ஸ்பிளைன்
கண்டவா they cannot விண்டிலர், they cannot விண்டிலர், விண்டி சொல்ல முடியாத வாழ.
they cannot explain.
கண்டவர் விண்டிலர்.
One who's explaining
கண்டிலர்
has not seen.
வாயை திறந்து யாரெல்லாம் பேசின்னு இருக்காளோ, it means they have not கண்டிலர்.
They have not
கண்டதில்ல.
Very nice. Nice மாமா.
சொல்வாளேமா, இந்த நாயக் கண்டா கல்ல காணும், கல்ல கண்டா நாயக் காணும். பெருமாளோட உருவத்தை பார்த்தா கல்லா பார்த்தா கல்லு இல்லைன்னா பெருமாள் சொல்லுவாங்க. இதுல கூட வருவேன்.
Correct, that's true. So good, so nice. So the same idea here, whether so the experience when that occurs, the one who's experiencing it, he knows that when he's saying मैं हूँ, Hari hai मैं nahi, or I am there, or Hari is there, I am not there anymore. But who is this saying? जब मैं हूं हरि नहीं, जब हरि है मैं नहीं ना, who is saying this? How can you say the statement? It logically doesn't make sense, right? So is the understanding here is logically it doesn't make sense. I am telling this that my nahi. How is it possible that I am saying I am not there? How can I say that I am not there? What it means that this I that I think as myself as an individual entity is not there. I am here as this presence. I am not a karta anymore. I am not a karta, which means I am not the doer. The doership attitude is gone. But there is this entity here which is experiencing this whole Bhagavatam. When you experience Bhagavan, you become a Bhagavata. Who is a Bhagavata? Not somebody who is listening to Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. When you experience oneself, we experience ourselves as Bhagavan, which means we experience the divine presence within ourselves. Such a person is a Bhagavata. So this Bhagavat Tattva that you're experiencing, that is Bhagavat. So that individual is a Bhagavata. Yes, Mama.
ஒரு டவுட் குருஜி, நீங்க when you talk about experience, so this experience of anybody is through the Jnanendriya, or just is it by like eyes, ears, or only by the mind? இந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸுங்கிறது வந்து நம்மளுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி பிரம்மனோட அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸுங்கிறது வந்து சொல்றதுக்கு வந்து is it only perceived by the mind or other organs also, other indriyas also?
So when we talk about this experience of this divine principle within, that experience can be manifested in the mind, can be manifested in the other parts of our body or other organs. It can, but the experience doesn't originate in the mind. It doesn't originate in the body. The experience doesn't originate there.
I'm not talking about the origination of the experience. The effect of that
effect can
experience
be perceived in the mind, can be perceived in the body, which is why yesterday I was
ஒரே ஒரு இதாக குருஜி. ஓகே, நீங்க பாடின்னு சொல்லும்போது நம்மளை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் anything external to me is known only through the panchendriyas. Yeah.
Yes.
Either by touch or hear or taste or smell or whatever. So நான் பாடிங்கிறது இந்த பஞ்சேந்திரியங்களை தான் நினைக்கிறேன். இப்போ அதை வந்து நான் அந்த whatever experience effect is happening, is it happening in all the panchendriyas or is only in the mind? Like, can I experience in the eyes? So the eyes, which means again, if I say I have experienced Brahman through eyes, which means eyes can only see, and Brahman is not seeable.
It's not an object of perception.
Object of perception.
See, the way to look at this is your indriyas are constrained by its field of operation. Eyes can only see, ears can only hear, skin can only feel the sense of touch, tongue can only taste, nose can only smell. You cannot have the nose seeing or the eyes cannot smell. The field of operations are different. Okay, and it is always outward bound, which means it is looking outwards. It's, imagine you have tentacles here, you have antenna, you have eyes have antenna, nose has antenna, skin has antenna. It is outward bound and trying to suck information from the outside. This is what the indriyas are made to do. But at the same time, the indriyas can also experience what the mind is processing. For example, even if you are not experiencing, which is what happens in the dream state. In the dream state also you have pancha jnanendriyas, correct? Or pancha karmendriyas. Are these the same? They are not the same. Or probably they are the same, because what we see as eyes, ears, the skin and all that, these are called as golaka, which means these are organs of sense perception, the faculty that is there behind it is there within us. So the same faculty operates during dream state also, which is why in the dream state I am able to see, I am able to hear, touch, smell, taste. I am able to do all of that. Now, what is happening is, who is the operator in the dream state? The mind. Because your body has come to a certain state of rest. The body is not awake, it's not awake, but your mind is awake. A certain aspect of your mind is awake. The conscious mind is not awake. There is a certain aspect of the mind which is awake. And that mind is governing and processing these indriyas. Okay. So it is not very different. What you're experiencing right now in the waking and what you're experiencing in the dream, both are largely perceived and governed by the mind. Because even now, a lot of times I may be seeing, but if the mind does not absorb the content that is coming in, I don't see. Correct? The seeing is a combination of the golaka, which is the eyes, the indriya, which is the karma, the jnanendriya, which is called the netra or the chakshuhu, and the manas behind it. So this combination, the manas, the indriya, and the golaka together gives you the perception of sight. Any one is cut off, you cannot see. If the mind is cut off, even though I'm looking, I won't see. So this is the operation during waking. The same operation in a subtle realm happens in dream state. Now, when I have an experience or Bhagavat Anubhava, some form of divine experience from inside, I can still see from inside. Because what will happen is, this Anubhava, this experience, can use the mind as a medium to express itself in form. Are you following this conversation? The mind.
புரியுது குருஜி. அதான் நான் வந்து அந்த கோலக்காவையும் அந்த பர்செப்ஷனையும் ரெண்டுத்தையும் ஒண்ணா பார்த்துட்டேன். அதை நான் பிரிச்சு பார்க்கணும்.
You have to separate the two. Correct.
Got it.
Let us separate the two. So then what happens in my dhyana, in my complete absorption, where is this experience of Bhagavat, when I'm thinking about God, I'm doing japa, I'm doing dhyana, I'm doing something. This process is leading my mind slowly to an experience of very subtle nature within myself, which means I'm experiencing this divine realization within me. It can come as an experience, it rises as an experience. It sometimes can express itself through the indriyas, which is why a lot of people will smell vibhuti. Suddenly they will say, oh, I came out of a deep meditation and I was smelling, I had great fragrance, vibhuti, or some kind of incense stick I was smelling. Have you heard of this? You would have heard of these things, right? People narrating such experiences. There would be no vibhuti or no incense sticks or agarbatti outside, but they will experience the sense of smell. They will experience a sense of taste, sweetness within their tongue. Of course, yoga has a different interpretation of that. There is a mudra called Kechari mudra. And in Kechari mudra, when you turn the tongue upwards and touch the palate in the backside, from the pineal gland, there is supposed to be nectar, a drop of nectar that you will taste, you can taste. So these are yoga methods of, again, we're talking about Larry Mahasaya and Kriya Yoga. There is a method to actually do this. Kriya Yoga, you can do this particular exercise to experience that taste of nectar within. So these experiences can be translated into sensory experiences also. You may not be able to choose it. Like you can't choose your dream. In the way you can't choose the dream, you cannot choose to say that I want to now feel fresh air on me. You can't choose that. If the dream happens to be structured in a way, your mind configures it in a certain way, you'll get the experience of fresh breeze. Otherwise, you will not, right? So you can't choose what to experience, sensory experience. I mean, you can't choose what sensory experiences you want in your dream. You can only do that in your waking. The same way, when you're having this some kind of experience of the divinity within, it can spill out as a sensory experience, because the mind otherwise does not know how to capture it. Our mind is so trained for sensory experiences only. That is why the joy that you get out of meditation, a lot of people will say that I feel light after I meditated. I feel light. My body feels light. If you go and put the person on a weighing scale, there'll be no difference. Right? Just by sitting and meditating, he may have gained weight also. But he feels light. There is a sensory, feeling light is a sensory perception. What is happening is the mind is passing on this message to the body, because we understand joy only through sensory perceptions. Unfortunately, we are trained to experience joy only through sensory perceptions. Not only joy, suffering, whatever. The whole duality is only through sensory perception. So, which is why even if we are having some kind of a very subtle divine experience within, it is captured and held as a memory only when it spills out as a sensory experience. Because the mind wants to hold it. See, understand this. When you're feeling good about something, the mind wants to hold it, because it will then later it will say, it was so beautiful, I want to go back to it. This is the play of the mind. So what we are saying here is, to understand God, understand Bhagavan, one has to experience Bhagavan, which means we experience that within us. And when we say that, going back to that phrase of Kabir, Sant Kabir, जब हरि है मैं नाही, जब मैं हूं हरि नहीं, जब हरि है मैं नाही, which means, who is saying this identity, this the self, which is differentiated itself from Bhagavan, or differentiated itself from that divine entity inside, that individual identity self is not there anymore. So the I who is saying that Hari is here, there is somebody saying that this is Hari here and I am not there, that I is united itself with this Hari. Because it said that this I, although I recognize it's only Bhagavan here, I am not there, that recognition dissolves this individual identity and only gives importance to the divine identity which is inside. Amritasya putraha. This immortal self that I am, when I am looking and I am saying that this I that is, or this Hari or Krishna that is here, is the only thing that is here. But who is looking at it? So I only am looking at it, no? I am only looking at it and saying that. But this I that is looking at Krishna and saying that Krishna is only here, that I does not hold any individual identity. It doesn't hold a separate identity. It says Krishna is everything. Krishna is the only thing. I am not the doer. If I am also seeing and saying this is Krishna, that seeing and saying is also Krishna. That is also him. This kind of an attitude is what kind of develops. So these are all very beautiful things that one can experience in dhyana, in meditation. When we observe this slowly, we go and spend time with ourselves. This is something that we can experience, right? And today being Lahari Mahasaya's day, maybe after the satsang, we can probably spend 5-10 minutes quietly, just sit and observe and do a little bit of dhyana or meditation, and then we can go. So this is the whole, the path of Kriya Yoga is essentially to bring our attention within ourselves to say that externally, whatever may be happening, whatever is happening, it holds no relevance. Jyotisham Ravir Anshuman. This light that you see inside here is greater than all of these lights. This is the greatest that you are having holding within yourself. It tries to bring that attention back again and again, little by little. So in this he says, Vedanam Samavedosmi Devanam Asmi Vasavaha Indriyanam Manaschasmi Bhutanam Asmi Chetana. I am the Chetana or the Chaitanya amongst all living beings, amongst all Indriyas, amongst all sensory perceptions. I am the mind, because the mind is the one that so it's beautiful, we spoke about it. The mind is the one that governs all the Indriyas also. If the mind is not there, even if the Indriya is there or the Golaka are there, doesn't matter. Right? I am the one powering as the Manas. And then Devanam Asmi Basavaha. I am Indra, which means I am Devendra. I am the amongst all Devatas, I am the king of all Devatas. Of all the functions that have happened, the physiological or the natural elements or functions that are there, I am the Lord Devendra of all of that. So that is how Krishna slowly bringing Arjuna to experience the outside as inside and inside as outside. And later when he gives him the Vishwarupa Darshanam, Arjuna will get completely confused. What am I seeing? What am I experiencing? Right? It will be such a beautiful experience, an overwhelming experience for him. Right? But yet slowly he is guiding us in that direction. Okay. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Subhavat Karomi Yat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikayeti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Sri Lahari Masaya says one very, very popular phrase of his, Banat Banat Banjai. Banat Banat Banjai, which means by doing, it will be done. It's a proclamation by a great saint. He says, just keep doing. Don't think much. Do your practice, do your sadhana, do your japa, tapa, dhyana, nididhyasana, nama sankirtanam, satsangam, whatever. Keep doing. One day it will happen. Banjai. Banjai means ho jayega. In Hindi they say, right? So banat banjai. Doing, it will be done. Okay. Okay. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om Guruji. Hari Om.